Okay, sorry for the delay. There's currently a downpour happening right now, so I wanted to make sure things were a-okay before I start streaming. As you can see, I accidentally let my window open. There's a downed Fumo. I shall go pick up that Fumo after I'm done with this. Okay, anyways, let's get started. I'm gonna do this fucking hour, then I gotta get back to the other video I have to work on, which is gonna be the Umenico one. All right, that's enough dilly-dallying. Let's get this show on the road. Yeah, there is currently a downed Fumo. I shall go pick it up. So if I remember correctly, earlier today we worked on the intro, so let me bring up my outline, see what I got. Alright. Okay. So why horror makes us move? Let's see what I got. This storm just came out of nowhere. It's like, oh shit, it's the severe thunderstorm right now. So I didn't want to stream while like the main brunt of it was coming down, because knowing my house, power was gonna get knocked out eventually, but luckily it didn't get knocked out, so we were pretty much good to go. So as mentioned, I'm just gonna play. I'm just gonna do this for like an hour, take a break, come back and do the other one. Okay, what is the meaning of running? Meaning of running. Okay, so let's do this. Oh, I almost forgot. Here we go. For some weird reason, OBS on my main gaming PC doesn't bring up YouTube chat, so I was gonna manually put it on just in case. Okay, there we go. So, running. And Goblin Slayer is playing in the background, so that's entertaining. Running is more than mere act. Okay. Running is more than a mere act. Very fabric of human survival. Psychology. Running is more than a mere act. It is woven into the very fabric of human survival and psychology. Rooted in a deep impulse. Running is more than a mere act. It is woven into the very fabric of human survival, rooted in deep evolutionary impulse. Okay, that sounds good. So, when faced with danger, body. Body and brain react. The body and brain. Body and the brain react. Body and the brain react. To be a little cheeky right here. Cascade's a good word. Cascade cascade of responses. It's cascade of responses designed to it's in a sense designed to save you in the most direct way possible. So when faced with danger, the body and brain react in a cascade of responses designed to save life in the most Running is more than a mere act. It is woven into the very fabric of human survival and psychology, rooted in a deep evolutionary impulse. When faced with danger, the body and brain react in a cascade of responses designed to save life in the most direct way possible. Okay, that sounds good. I did set out to do what I said earlier. I worked on Golden Sun a little bit. I touched base on what I needed for the Human Echo video because I needed to touch base on Goffman's theories. So later on when I do that stream, I should be good to go in regards to that. But as mentioned, I take requests. So when I woke up, there was a request to do more Human Echo. I'm like, oh, fuck it. I was going to do it eventually, but I might as well get it out of the way because requests take priority. So technically, I'm doing 3 projects right now. This one, Human Echo, and Golden Sun. Golden Sun is just I'm just on the audio section of it. As soon as I'm done actually editing the audio, I'll actually get to the video portion. This one's in script writing phase, and Human Echo's in we started outline phase. So yeah, 3 projects. Then we'll figure out what my next batch of projects are going to be. So. This primary... No, we'll use primal here. This primal reflex. It's primal reflex. The flight response. Flight response. Brainstem. In our brainstem. Dating. Just thought. And again, like I mentioned before in my other videos, I do recommend if you have free time, do research on the brain. The brain is that gray matter in our head is very complex. And funny enough, I'm breaking with the brain in all my videos because it's usually your brain's response to shit that defines almost everything. Especially Vera. That was funny. I'm like, oh yeah, you're a psychologist and psychiatrist's worst nightmare. All right, so this primal reflex, the flight response, is coded into our brainstem, predating conscious thought. Conscious thought. Reason and fear itself, and even fear itself. And fear itself. Fear itself. So, fear itself. Running is more than a mere act. It is woven into the very fabric of human survival and psychology. Rooted in deep evolutionary impulse, when faced with danger, the body and brain react in a cascade of responses designed to save life in the most direct way possible. This primal reflex, the flight response, is encoded into our brains, encoded in our brainstem, predating conscious thought and reason and fear itself. Conscious thought, reason, and fear itself. There's a lot more I can add. There is gonna be a lot more I'm gonna add here. I'm just trying to think about how I should approach this. I think aloud, so don't mind me. There are times I fear what happens on Weeb TV back there. I'll never forget the day I was on Twitch and Etchy Shenanigans started playing in the background. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? But Goblin Slayer is not tamed, but at least we're not seeing. There's nothing crazy happening back there just yet. Okay, we'll do this. It is the surprise. It's surprise. Split second decision. Yeah, split second decision. I cannot spell right now. Split second decision. or the mind. The threat. So yes, in horror games. Final Fantasy 14 online free trial. Wow, someone is very bored right now. Holy shit. I have Steam open in the background. What the fuck? Yeah, in horror games. Yeah, in horror games. Yeah, in horror games. Stripped of its it's empowering veneer. Veneer. Give me 1 second. Okay, that's, yeah, we can use that. Okay. Okay, that's fine. I just had to check something. So, yeah, in horror games, running of its empowering cover. Okay. Something more sinister. Something more sinister. When we think about running away, using Mr. X as an example, we feel a sense of desperation. Yes, the biggest thing right now, like, is when we run, we feel desperate, this confusion, and we feel trapped in the situation. So, okay. So, yeah, in horror games, running is stripped of its endearing, empowering veneer. It becomes something more sinister. Something more sinister. Okay, so... symbol of desperation. Okay, that's good. Symbol of desperation, confusion, fusion, and, at least in my case, entrapment. Play any game from the Clock Tower series, like especially Haunting Ground, then you'll feel like whenever you're running away from your stalker, you feel like entrapped. Try running away from Daniela. That's Daniela, and yeah, Daniela's like probably the worst stalker in my opinion. I'm not drinking alcohol yet. That is about to change in the next few minutes. Okay. Alright, so... running is more than a mere act. It's woven into the very fabric of human survival and psychology. Rooted in a deep evolutionary impulse, when faced with danger, the body and brain react in a cascade of responses designed to save life in the most direct way possible. This primal reflex, the flight response, is encoded in our brainstem, predating conscious thought, reason, and even fear itself. It is the rawest form of survival, a split-second decision to move away from harm before the mind can comprehend the threat. What the hell? This is always why you proofread. I don't know why I wrote in there. Before the mind can comprehend the threat. Yet in horror games, running is stripped of its empowering veneer. It becomes something more sinister, a symbol of desperation, confusion, and entrapment. Yeah, it's always proofread, because you just never know. You can just write some weird, absurd nonsense sometimes. So... We can talk about the biological aspect of it. Just a tad bit. Not that much. Luckily, I know a lot about hormones, especially adrenaline and cortisol. So we can talk about that, especially adrenaline. Adrenaline will kick in a lot because your body's gonna give you as much energy as it can to actually save you in the situation. All right, so, okay. Energy. Well, the body of energy. Sharpen senses. Sharpen senses. So, yes, that is a thing, but people don't know, like, you're technically, in a sense, getting a stat boost. That's the best way for me to describe it. You're getting a stat boost, but it comes with its own repercussions. Like, motor control and like clarity start going down. Like your body is trying to survive. Like rational thinking sometimes will go out the window. So the stat boost comes with its repercussions, its drawbacks. Holy shit, that is a funny analogy. Wow. Okay. All right. That's my entertainment for the day. I should celebrate by drinking alcohol. Do not drink unless you're an adult. Please don't do that. There's Four Loko, and Four Loko and Fireball. Oh, I'm still gonna be fucked up tonight. I'm going right to hell. Okay, biologically, running engages hormones such as adrenaline, cortisol that flood the body with energy, sharpen senses. But simultaneously, yeah, simultaneously gonna use here. Yeah, simultaneously. Yes, that's good. So of course. All right. I was close. I don't use simultaneously often. Erode. Fine motor control is fine. Fine motor control. But yes, you get a stat boost, but you get repercussions. I think the best way is like in Haunting Ground when Fiona's anti-quote sanity meter just goes down and you lose complete control of the character and the screen just becomes a hazy mess while she's trying to run. While she's like speed boosting out of the damn area. Like you lose all control and clarity. Like things just tunnel vision in a sense. But yes, you get a stat boost, but you get a lot of repercussions because of that stat boost. Which I'll give examples. In clarity. So your heartbeat. Your heartbeat pounds. Lungs burn. And muscles ache. Muscles ache. I still don't know if I'm gonna do a movie tie-in with this. I might do one. I'm just not 100% sure yet. I was gonna do Halloween 4, but there's better options. I didn't want to waste any more time trying to debate it, so I just want to get this script out of the way and then Before I do dubbing, I'll decide whether or not I'm going to do it. Try to word this in a specific way. Limbs, but your limbs. This is gonna be the best way I can write this. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's probably the best way I can actually write this. So, that this psychological response, psychological. It's automatic. All right, let's chat for a second. So, it's funny. Well, it's not funny. But we'll use myself as an example. Obviously, I'm in a combat MOS, so things are pretty high stakes. There are times where, like myself, I'll develop like tunnel vision because at the end of the day, I want to make sure I'm safe. I don't want to get hurt. I already got a gash on my chest right now that obviously affects my speaking, but I want to make sure I'm not in harm's way. So the psychological response of it is like your body wants to protect you, so it wants you to survive. Obviously, your brain wants you to survive. So all rational thinking is going to go out the window. So in a sense, it's not controlled, like it's automatic, it's brutal, it's all rational thought just goes out the window because survival is your brain's top priority at the moment. I just gotta word that the right way. So, looking at it from this perspective, it's like, it's not selective or controlled, it's automatic. In a sense, it can be unforgiving as well because survival is your body's top priority, regardless of the situation. Yeah, okay. All right, that's good. Yeah, we can do that. So, it's automatic. Brutal and unforgiving. Okay, so let's read this. Let's read this out loud. Let's read the section Ashley put out. So, running biologically, running engages hormones such as adrenaline and cortisol that flood the body with energy, sharpen senses, but simultaneously erode fine motor control and clarity. Your heartbeat pounds, lungs burn, and muscles ache. But your limbs obey a mind hijacked by urgency. This psychological response is not that's selective. This is supposed to be selective. I wrote selective by mistake. This psychological response is not selective or controlled. It's automatic, brutal, or unforgiving. Okay. So I think that's fine. But since we talked about the biological aspect, we have to go into the detail about the cognitive aspect of it. Yeah, do not drink unless you're an adult. Give me one sec. Currently 8:30. I do want to finish this section up, and I'll take a break, come back later, and I'll start doing the Battler stuff. Okay, cool beans. All right, let's go. Even though I'm not at work, I still do want to check just in case things go down. Okay. So, from a cognitive point of view, how should we talk about this? There's so much we can talk about here, but I don't want to overwhelm people with big brain talk. All right, for now, I can just condense this later. It's not that big of a deal. So we'll write and we'll see how crazy this is later. That's what I did with the Vera one, because that one was good. That one was supposed to be like at least more than an hour long, but I was like, you know what? I can make this a 30-minute video. This does not need to be an hour plus. So So if I'm playing a game, I won't use a horror game example here. So in my last horror game based video, we used Friday the 13th, the final chapter as an example. So Trish and Tommy running, mostly Trish running from human Jason. So I did mention in my analysis that she had ample opportunity to make her scenario a little bit better. Like, for example, when she saw one of the twins' bodies on the ground on the front door, the porch, when she opened the front door, she could have literally just jumped right over the twin and just kept on running. But just because she was so terrified of what she saw, of obviously Jason killing people and all the bodies he saw, and Jason killing Rob right in front of her, it's like all her rational thinking just went out the window. So it was like, oh my god, I gotta get out of here. All my rational thought is gone. So instead of, just sure, like, there's a dead body in front of you, you just can just step right over it and continue running. She ran back inside of the house to try and find another exit, even though the front door was just literally opened right there. It's like, there's your escape, but your rational thought in the scenario is just gone because of what you witnessed. So lo and behold, she went to the back door, side door, whatever you want to call it, opened the door and found the corpse, the corpse crucified like that. And it's like, Trish, you can, all right, that's an inconvenience. Trish, just go into the guy's legs. No, she didn't go underneath the guy's legs. She just ended up she grabbed a chair and yeeted it at the window and climbed out the window. I'm like, wow. Sure, you ended up getting out of the house, but you had like 2 opportunities to get out of the house without yeeting a chair through a window. So it's like, you're in a situation like that where you're just straight trying to run away from the killer. Like, you're planning out the window. Like, there was no plan, right, whatsoever. Her rationality was out the window. Memory, which especially memory, is like, wow, you like, Trish, like, well, I'm pretty sure you should know like the layout of the area since you live right next door to where the murders happen. Like, you should be good. But all those 3 aspects right there, rationality, memory, planning, rationality, memory, was just thrown out the window because of running from Jason. Okay, yeah, I think, yeah, that's good. So the brain's functions such as planning, rationality, in memory are muted. She had tunnel vision. Yes, there we go. Tunnel vision. Tunnel vision is very scary. I want to add like a little silence right there. What? Muted. I think Sydney Prescott was like the best example of this. She said, yeah, the victim, instead of running out the perfectly fine front door, runs upstairs. And ironically, she does the same exact thing when she's getting chased by Stu. Yeah, it was Stu. Yeah, it was Stu who chased her in the house. Logical choices become decisions. It's okay, we can go into detail here. So no, we don't need to do that. Okay, it's fine. So I might have to phone it. I'll touch base with my psychologist buddy after this, because there is a concept that we've talked about before. It's called cognitive tunneling, which, damn. I mean, I could use it, but I'll touch base with him afterwards. So yeah, going off of what I know about it, this couldn't work here. Yeah, I'll just have to touch base with him later. So I'm gonna put this in quotation marks because I need to. No, yeah, I'll put this in quotation marks. I need to fact check just in case. I don't want to write something that's not 100% accurate. So here's experience. Again, I'm gonna touch base with him later about this. I'll call him right afterwards and say, yeah, dude, just can you just fact check me just in case? I'm gonna try to talk about cognitive tunneling. Tunneling. So if I remember correctly, it's like where your perception shrinks in a sense. Your perception shrinks like to the immediate threat in a sense, and like the context vanishes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll touch base with him. Like we'll put quotations on it, so I'll know later. I need to touch base with him about this. So perception. There's where perception shrinks. Where perception shrinks to the immediate threat. The immediate threat. And it's not just regular context, it'd be broader context, and broader context vanishes. I can actually fucking spell. Broader context vanishes. So in a way, Trying to think of an example here. Players experience what psychologists call cognitive tunneling, where perception shrinks to immediate threat and broader context vanishes. So this is like, it's as if the brain is under siege. Okay, it's under siege. The brain is under siege. Under siege, like being locked in loops of impulse. Yeah. Okay, yeah, we can do that. Locked in loops of impulse and panic. All right. Locked in loops of impulse and panic, where each action feels both urgent and futile. Yeah, alright, so let me read this real quick. Okay. Running is more than a mere act. It is woven into the very fabric of human survival and psychology, rooted in deep evolutionary impulse, where when faced with danger, the body and brain react in a cascade of responses designed to save life in the most direct way possible. This primal reflex, the flight response, is encoded in our brainstem, predating conscious thought and reason, even fear itself. It is the rawest form of survival, a split-second decision to move away from harm before the mind can comprehend the threat. Yet in horror games, running is stripped of its endearing veneer. It becomes something more sinister, a symbol of desperation, confusion, and entrapment. Biologically, running engages hormones such as adrenaline and cortisol that flood the body with energy, sharpen senses, but simultaneously erode fine motor control and clarity. Your heartbeat pounds, lungs burn, and muscles ache, but your limbs obey a mind hijacked by urgency. This psychological response is not selective or controlled. It is automatic, brutal, and unforgiving. Cognitively, running in horror games operates as an override. The brain's functions such as planning, rationality are muted, replaced by tunnel vision. Logical choices become impossible as decisions are made in fragments. Players experience what psychologists call cognitive tunneling, where perception shrinks to an immediate threat and broader context vanishes. It is if the brain is under siege, locked in loops of impulse and panic, where action feels both urgent and futile. Okay, so I'm gonna save it right here. It's getting late right now. It's 8:45, so I'm gonna go give him a call. I'll have like a little powwow with him and make sure I got cognitive tunneling right, because I don't want to jot something down that's not 100% accurate. We don't do that here. We don't do that. So good shit, good stream. Later on tonight, I'll come back with the human echo stuff. So good shit. I'll go touch base with him, then we'll double back tomorrow with this. Other than that,